Every single day, there's this kind of invisible war being fought, and it's for your money and your personal information. So today, we are going to arm you for that fight. We're going to break down the most common scams out there and show you exactly how to build up your defenses so you can spot the tricks before they cause any real damage.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. Between all the emails, the texts, the phone calls, how many times a day does someone try to trick you? The threat is it's relentless. But the good news is, once you know what to look for, you can become an incredibly difficult target.
All right, so to beat a scammer, you first need a really strong defense. Before we even dive into their tactics, let's build up our foundation. You can think of this as locking all the doors and windows of your digital house.
Your whole digital foundation really comes down to 5 key habits. Okay, first up, strong, unique passwords with multi-factor authentication. These are your front door locks, so you gotta make them tough to pick. Next, those software updates, they aren't just for getting new features. They're patching up security holes that scammers just love to wiggle through. Third, you've got to be on guard against phishing. That's the art of the fake email. Then, a firewall and antivirus software, well, they act like your 24/7 digital security guard. And finally, regular backups. This just means that even if the worst happens, you won't lose all your important stuff. If you can master these, you're already way ahead of the game.
You know, in this high-tech world, one of the best defenses is actually, surprisingly, low-tech. For your most critical information, like say a master password, a simple paper notebook that you keep in a safe place, well, it's completely immune to online hacking. It's a great reminder to sometimes think outside the digital box.
Okay, so our defenses are up. Now let's switch to offense and take a look at the enemy's playbook. The first tactic we're going to look at is all about deception. Scams that work by wearing a mask, pretending to be someone or something they're not.
And a lot of this deception is powered by a sneaky bit of tech called number spoofing. Basically, scammers use software to change what your caller ID shows you. So that call that looks like it's coming from your bank or maybe even a local number to seem like a neighbor, yeah, that could be a scammer from literally anywhere in the world. The big takeaway here is never ever trust your caller ID alone.
And this technology is the engine behind so many classic scams. You might get that panicked call supposedly from a grandchild who's in trouble. That's the grandparent scam. Or maybe a pop-up on your computer screen screaming about a virus claiming to be from Microsoft or Apple. That's the tech support scam. And of course, there's the dreaded IRS scam, trying to scare you with threats of legal action. They all use a fake identity to mess with your emotions.
Okay, take a look at this. It's a classic phishing email, and we're going to break it down. Over on the left is what they want you to see, a familiar logo. Looks legit, right? Capital One. But look closely at the reality on the right. The sender's email address? It's just a bunch of nonsense. The subject line yells, "Action required," to make you panic so you'll click without thinking. And that link, if you were to hover your mouse over it, you'd see it doesn't go to the real website at all. You always have to check these 3 things. Who is it really from? Why are they creating such a rush? And where is that link really taking me?
So if that last category of scams played on your fear, this next one, it plays on a totally different but just as powerful emotion, hope. This is what we call the too good to be true trap, and it's built on these tempting lures and false promises of easy money or amazing prizes.
And the most famous example of this is the Ponzi scheme. On the surface, it looks like this brilliant investment opportunity, but really, it's just a house of cards. There's no actual profit being made. The system just pays off the early investors with money it gets from newer investors. But it's like a financial black hole. Eventually, it can't find enough new money to keep going, and the entire thing just collapses, taking everyone's investment down with it.
So how can you spot one? You want to look for these big red flags. First, a promise of high returns with pretty much zero risk. That just doesn't exist in the real world of investing. You'll see returns that are just suspiciously consistent. They never seem to go up and down with the actual market. The strategy is often some kind of big secret, or it's so complex you can't possibly understand it. That's on purpose. And the final biggest warning sign of all, you have a really hard time getting your own money out.
The same too good to be true idea applies to these prize scams. We've all seen them, right? You get a text or an email saying you've won something amazing. But the real goal isn't to give you a coffee maker, it's to get you to click a shady link, or give up your personal information for shipping, or even sign up for some expensive subscription you didn't want. Just remember this, if you didn't enter a contest, you didn't win one. Simple as that.
Now, scams aren't just a digital problem. They target us in the real world too. They pop up when we're trying to find a place to live, when we're getting our house fixed, or even when we're just trying to do a little bit of good in the world.
This slide really shows the push and pull of a typical rental scam. On the left, you've got the scammer's tactics. The rent is way too low for the area, they're putting all this pressure on you to act fast, and they're demanding a deposit before you've even laid eyes on the place. Your defense is over there on the right. Know the local market rate, trust your gut, and here's the golden rule. Always visit the property in person before a single cent changes hands.
And here are two other common ones you've got to watch out for. The home repair scammer who just conveniently shows up after a big storm, asks for a huge payment up front, and then either does a terrible job or just vanishes. Then there's the charity scam, which preys on your good nature by creating fake charities, especially right after a natural disaster. Always verify the organization is legit before you donate.
So we've looked at digital defenses, we've looked at impersonation scams, we've looked at real-world traps. But what is the single most powerful tool that you have? One that works against almost every single scam out there.
To get to that ultimate defense, first you have to understand the scammer's endgame. They need to get paid in a way that is instant and irreversible. That's why they will always push for you to use wire transfers, gift cards, or payment apps. If anyone demands that you pay only using one of these methods, that is a massive red flag. It's basically the same as sending cash in the mail. Once it's gone, it is gone for good.
And here it is. This is your shield. It's a really simple 3-step mental checklist you can use against any potential scam. When you feel that sense of pressure or panic, or even that over-the-top excitement, the very first thing you have to do is just pause. Take a breath. Then question everything. Does this really make sense? Why are they rushing me so much? And finally, verify. Hang up the phone and call the bank yourself using the number on their official website. Look up that charity independently. This simple process, pause, question, verify, it completely defeats their entire strategy.
You see, scammers win when they can isolate their victims and make them feel alone. So the best way we can all fight back is with shared knowledge. As we wrap this up, just think for a second about your friends, your parents, your coworkers. Who in your life could really benefit from hearing this? Sharing what you've learned today is one of the most powerful things you can do to help us all stay safe together.